Hi there, my name is Belinda Dubston and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our weekly episode where we ask the I Ching what should we pay attention to this week. This time for the week commencing the 6th of March 2023. Now we are fully into March. If you have not yet done so, go and check out the monthly overview for March to go and check out the intense pressure we are all facing this month, how to deal with ourselves and how we respond under pressure, how to scaffold our life, and recognize the blessings that are coming to help us, the things that are moving us forward. So go check that out. Right, so last week we had our interesting hexagrams, hexagram 19 approach, something large approaching something that was small, okay, with this interesting little changing line saying, is this really ours? Should we really be working with this thing? Have your critical faculties, all right? Also, don't be too casual or too comfortable. Be focused and diligent on what needs to get done. And this beautiful hexagram of 11 peace, of heaven on earth, of things being fertile and profuse with opportunity and with blessings. And our task is to expand and open ourselves up to the energy of the week. So how did that go for you? What came into your awareness? What was the beautiful thing that was manifesting, the seed that has manifested in your life? And how did you just open your heart and your mind up to what was coming to bless you? Please do share a comment. I love reading your comments. Okay, so let's have a look at this week, the 6th of March, 2023. Well, we have a very different set of hexagrams for this week because, it can't always be, flying high, peace, energy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this week we've got a very different focus that we're being asked to pay attention to. And with that, trust your life. If your life is going and flowing in a different direction to what these weeklies and monthlies are, go with it. It's your life. Okay, flow with it. So our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 41, decrease. Decrease. Okay. So this hexagram, if we had to describe it as a visual image, okay, I would take you out onto the farmer's fields and show you a little farm-made reservoir that's there to collect rainwater and is there to nourish the crops. And the sun has been beating down, all right, and has been evaporating the reservoir. Okay, the reservoir is getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And when you look into this reservoir and you see, this is getting dire, right? The reservoir is really empty. You can get really, really stressed. What you can't see is that water has been evaporated up into the atmosphere. And when it is time, okay, not your time, when it is time, this will coalesce and return back to your crops as rain. So it talks about a time of decrease, right? A time of putting down the things that are non-essential. So the way that I think about this hexagram, we can divide it up into two parts, right? One strategy says, this might be an emptying of the bank account week. Okay, you might feel like, okay, the reservoir might be financial. Okay, what's sitting in your bank account? What's sitting in your pocket? What's sitting in your asset base? And you might feel like, I'm emptied out, right? Or things are decreasing, or I'm not getting the clients this week that I was supposed to, or the cash flow isn't coming in. Clients aren't paying on time, and I'm looking at my bank account, I've got bills to pay, and I'm wondering how am I going to do this? Okay, this is the energy of decrease. That's one aspect, okay? And the interesting thing about this hexagram is that water is evaporating to coalesce and come back down. So this isn't a permanent situation. It's not like hexagram 12, where it's like really standstill and dried out, desiccated. Okay, this is a decrease in the resources that we have, which might also be your energy, your time. Okay, resources are not just money in the bank. Okay, coupled with this is we can work strategically with this hexagram by making conscious choices of the things we put down. Okay. Now, if you have watched hexagram 28's overview for the month, part of that is reinforcing the structure of our lives, our businesses, shoring up the structures that are important and putting down projects and things and people and processes that are not important, because all of them take our energy. And if we're trying to do something extraordinary and we have our energy in all these little nooks and crannies, we are unable to deliver the goods. Okay, this hexagram, as we start off March, right? It's quite interesting how it comes to clear that out. It comes to bring us a focus on putting down the things that are taking the energy, the time wasters, the energy killers, the buzz killers, right? Putting down the things that decrease us. So when we work with this hexagram, we just say if the bank account feels a bit empty and things are, okay, it's not to panic, okay? The hexagram says this is just the flow for this week. It's just how we might be feeling. This might be temporary, just relax, okay? But what it will point to strategically in our personal life, in our business lives, is where do we put down the things that are taking our energy? Where do we decrease the things that are unnecessary in order to pay attention to the things that are? This is about laser beam focus, okay? So what we do is we also look financially and strategically by saying, what are the things we can turn off financially? Okay, what are some of the things that we are spending money on we don't need? We've all got a couple of subscriptions. If we were really thinking about it and we really were willing to make a decision on it, we could turn those off and we could reduce our financial flow. We all have at least one we could turn off. So it's about thinking about those financial commitments and things that suck our energy. What do we turn off now? What's not working for us now? We can always do it again at a later stage. And then coupled with that is looking at where can we put down the things that use up our time, that use up our energy, our attention. What are attention stealers? And of course, we know the biggest attention stealer we have, you've heard me talk about it before, is the thing we put in our pocket and our handbags and our backpacks, okay? The phone, okay? So maybe this is a wonderful opportunity this week as we are tackling all that pressure and we are tackling all the creative power pumping through our lives, that we can just dial down the social media this week, or we can dial down the distraction and the amount of time spent doing things that are not core, okay? Spending time, spending energy on things that are not essential to what we need to do. And just have your eyes and ears open to what decreases for you this week. What becomes obvious that you don't have stuff in the tank? Is it time? Is it energy? Is it electricity? What is it that is not in the tank that you need, that you are looking for? And just relax about it, okay? Put down the things that aren't essential. Focus on what's essential. Switch off those unnecessary expenses. Shore up the things that are core to what you are trying to do. Be a laser beam. So we have one changing line for this week, and it's in the first position, right at the beginning of the decrease. And as I said before, whenever I have a changing line, where my books contradict or give different variations of this changing line, I like including both. You can work with them, you can make a decision what works for you, and this is the case with this one. So one resource talks about, with this decrease, there's something that you need to withdraw from quickly, swiftly, without delay. So decrease a connection and involvement that's not for you, and do it quickly. Okay, so something swift and urgent as the week starts, where you need to say, yes, that must go, okay? And there's something about, as this energy of decrease starts in the week, as that little changing line position one, it's something that's arriving, okay? It's an awareness that's arriving. Say, remove it quickly, out of my scope. Then the other aspect to this changing line, it is good if you're serving others, that once your work is done, once your urgent tasks are out the way, if people are struggling around you, is to help. Jump in and help, okay? It's a wonderful thing to serve people, and as a team, as a group, we all get there because we are willing to jump in and help. But if you are in a leadership position, all right, and you have, and we're using a team example, you're going to have to apply it to whatever context your situation speaks to. But if you are in a team situation and you have a team member who's always willing to serve, right? They come late and they work hard, even help others who are struggling. And if you are in a leadership position, you have a responsibility to say to yourself, they might be willing to serve. They might be willing to jump in quickly and help out. But do I have the moral authority? Am I okay to accept that help and accept their contribution? Because what can happen is you have someone who just gives and gives and gives and gives, right? And provides that help, steps in to help. But you can take advantage of them by just starting to assume they will always do that. And there's a moral responsibility around that, being in a leadership position and looking at that and saying, is it mine to take? And so we might find we wrestled with, should I actually accept this help? Or should I put a boundary in or help the other person to put a boundary in around what they're willing to do? Does this help now harm the other person? And now that I'm aware of it, what do I do with that? An interesting dilemma for us to work with this week. What can we see reflected back at us through our involvement with other people that raises this question and brings us a new insight this week? Can't wait to hear what you share next week. So with that one changing line, we have our second hexagram, okay, that comes out of that one changing line position. And this hexagram is hexagram 4, Youthful Folly. Youthful folly is foolishness, okay? And we all have a part of our consciousness, our life, our businesses, where we don't know what we're doing, okay? We're either consciously incompetent or unconsciously incompetent, okay? So what this hexagram comes to bring us an awareness of is that the energy is bubbling, okay? We've got water bubbling at the base of a mountain. The energy and the new life is bubbling back up, but it's not strong, okay? And there's work to do to build up our experience and our awareness. So with this hexagram, what we do is we do not assume we know everything. We assume the opposite. We assume that we have lots to learn, and we pursue that learning and development undercover, okay? We do that quietly. We do the work, we go within, and we start working on augmenting what we know and building up our experience and our maturity. And by taking that humble approach in how we deal with our learning, how we deal with our folly, okay, our foolishness, what happens is we tap into this wonderful energy. Now remember, hexagram 4 follows hexagram 3, sprouting, difficulty at the beginning. Remember, that's the one where the foal has to get up onto his legs the moment he's born, and he has to get moving. So we've been born, and now we are learning. Okay, in hexagram 4, we are learning. The problem comes when we assume we know everything. Okay, we know more than we do, and we assume we can see everything in the situation. We have all the answers, and there's something here that's hidden. It's either hidden because somebody else has hidden it from us, and we can't see through that mask, or it's hidden because we can't resonate with it. We just don't have the eyes to see it that come with experience or come with knowledge in a particular area. Getting helpers, okay, is key to working with this hexagram. And I often talk with this hexagram of the movie Karate Kid with Mr. Miyagi, of having to, subvert the ego and having to accept the teachings of the wise master to teach us how to do these basic ritualistic exercises that are building us up to being able to do the bigger things. So this week we are waxing on, waxing off. We are bowing, kowtowing to Mr. Miyagi, who has all the answers, okay? And for you, that might be a mentor, someone that you look up to. It might be your team. Listen to your team. Your frontline team, if you're a leader, your frontline team deal with the customers all the time. They understand their customers. So they are Mr. Miyagi. Okay, so just have a broad understanding of where your vision may be small and is going through development, going in undercover, okay? Allow that development to happen. Have a wonderful, humble attitude to learning and throw yourself into learning something new. And with that come the blessings. So happy learning, okay? Happy working with the flow of decreasing, making conscious strategic choices around what you decrease, rather than having life take them away from you because you resisted making the choices. Decrease and focus on what's absolutely essential. And if the bank account looks a little empty, just take a breath and say, it's going to be okay. It's evaporated. It's coming. Don't panic. Okay, have a blessed week. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you on the socials and see you right here again for our next weekly overview pretty soon. Thank you so much.